Am I the asshole, AITA, for telling the people renting land from my in-laws that they should be nicer to me if they want to keep renting when my husband takes over the lease? My husband and I, along with his parents, live on their farm. We renovated it to turn it into a hobby farm again. There are 3 pastures, 2 that my husband uses and the third that we were repairing to use. My in-laws were aware of this. During our repairs, one of the neighbors asked my in-laws about renting out the pasture because they had too many animals for the land they already had. My in-laws agreed because it was the right thing to do according to their faith, and it would generate a bit more income for them before they moved. Although my husband and I weren't thrilled about it, we put our plans on hold until the end of the lease to see if something could be worked out to accommodate everyone. We are now 3 months into this arrangement, and it has been a nightmare. The path to the pasture goes right by our house since it's close to it. They complain about my smoking on the porch no matter what time I go out. They complain that I play music that they don't want their kids to hear. They complain that we use our fire pit, which is about 50 yards from the pasture. Yesterday, I reached the end of my patience. When I'm getting ready in the mornings or after a shower, I walk around our house nude. My in-laws' house isn't anywhere in sight, and we're tucked off our road going through the farm, so our curtains are always open. If I see the renter's truck going over before I shower, I either close the curtains or get dressed. No one was at the pasture yesterday when I took my shower, and I didn't see the truck after, so I just walked around the house for a while. After about 25 minutes, there was a knock at the door. It was the neighbors. They complained that I needed to be more considerate and act decent by putting clothes on because they should be well aware by now that they bring their kids with them to take care of the animals, and they don't want their kids seeing that. Then they started about how they're paying good money to use the pasture and paid out of pocket to make it usable. I stopped them there and told them they didn't do all the work to make it usable. It was already halfway done because of my husband and me. I also told them, paraphrasing here, you don't own the farm, you're only renting one pasture, so you've got no right to tell me what to do in and around my own house. If you want any chance of having your lease renewed after my husband takes over, you should stop acting so self-important, act like the people of faith you claim to be, and be nicer to me. They told my in-laws about it, who took it to my husband. He's fine with what I said, as he's had his own issues with them, but we're wondering if we should apologize to my in-laws and the neighbors to keep the peace if I handled it wrong. We'd like some outsider views, so Ida? Additional info, we are not waiting for my in-laws to die, nor is it a matter of if he inherits but when. Early inheriting is a thing that reduces the inheritance tax here and makes the transfer go more smoothly. They've already started the process of turning the farm over to my husband's ownership so that when they move in with Bill in 1 to 2 years, it's already done or, at the very least, close to completion. Update: after my husband got home last night, we went down to my in-laws' house to apologize and talk to them about this whole situation. They had an idea about some of what was going on, but not each and everything that has happened. They apologized to us as well, saying they didn't think the renters would be that bad and wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt by helping them. Turns out my in-laws had already talked to them once after the renters called the sheriff on my husband/friends at the fishing pond, and when the renters went to them about our confrontation, they did not tell the truth. The renters told my in-laws I was deliberately standing in the windows and going outside briefly. Going to the pasture smoking. My husband was pissed, and so were they. They decided to call the renters this morning to have them come over for a talk. The husband of that pair couldn't come, so it was a phone call on speaker. My in-laws reiterated to them that my husband is their point of contact for all things related to the farm and they need to take any complaints and concerns to him because he is the one they will be dealing with soon. They made it clear they would not tolerate lying to get their way and that they and my husband needed to come up with a solution. At that point, they turned the call to my husband, and he did apologize for the outburst but told them that we would not be changing our lifestyle to one they thought we should have because we're all adults here. He told them that he had a few solutions that he thought might make this arrangement work for everyone. He started with again stating the simplest solution was for them to just call ahead so I know to turn down the music while I'm outside working, not smoke, etc., but the guy hung up at that. He did not pick up again when my husband and my in-laws tried to call again. So that's where we are. My husband is taking the day off to speak with the family's lawyer about what to do. Thanks, everyone, for the input, both the good and the bad.